Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So I wanted to sit down and just have a little chit chat with you guys. As most of you who follow my sister know, I was, or rather I am, or rather I was, I got pregnant when I was 19, when I was in my second year in university. And that led to a whole bunch of things that happened in my life that had I not gotten pregnant would have gone a whole other way. Right now, looking back, obviously, I'm happy that now things have progressed to where they are right now. But I'm also really aware of the fact that a lot of people, especially those who follow me on Instagram, would look at my life and say, wow, you're the great mom, you're doing it all, everything is good, you have work, you have this, you have that, and everything looks amazing. But on the other hand, I'm also, like, my heart really goes out to all the young girls who are in my DMs, who are always messaging me because they had the story that I shared on my sister's channel. And it's sad because it's messages of, I'm 16, I'm pregnant, what do I do? I'm 18, I'm pregnant, I'm in my first year of uni, what do I do? My boyfriend and I, we were fooling around, we got pregnant. And I just wanted to have a sit down with you guys. And this is most especially for all my girls who, you're still in that stage of, you've grown up and you're still exploring life and you're still exploring, okay, so what do I like? What do I not like? Oh, now we got boys. Or if you're a guy, oh, now we got girls, I want to tell you guys, like, almost like as a big sister, so that I demystify the whole glamorousness that comes about as being a teen mom. They have lipstick. Yeah, as being a teen mom. So let me just give you guys a little background history for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram or haven't heard my story. So I finished high school. I went and joined Kenyatta University here in Nairobi because I know I have also followers. Hi, baby. You can say hi. I have not watched them at toho. Guys, I'm filming this at like 5 in the morning because I've been like filming the whole night. So I joined university I joined Kenyatta University, and then first year was okay. We were just over there, we were living life, and I actually met Ian, who is the father of my children, in my first year. So what I wish I like somebody told me was all the pressures and all the desires, and how you're lured so much when you're in university, because in university is when I experienced a lot of my fasts, and oh my gosh, I wish I knew everything that I know now. For example, that desire to fit in. Oh, everybody is smoking weed, let's smoke weed. I didn't know years later that would eventually culminate into me being addicted to weed. And it was such a tough space for me to be able to get out of, but eventually I did get out of, and that is a story for another day. If you guys are interested in that story, I'd really like to share, but that's a story for another day. So I started dating Ian maybe towards the end of my first year, and then we dated all through, this is, mind you, 2013. Okay, this is 2013 when I first year in university. So in 2013 or 2014? So then the next year, now I was in my second year. In September, October there, I discovered I was pregnant. So you can imagine, I come from a single parent home. So at home, we were just raised by my dad. My mom wasn't there. So you can imagine, and my dad was really strict because now we are 3 girls at home, okay? So you can imagine me having now to go and tell my father, that, not only am I pregnant, I'm pregnant with what? With twins, which is a big deal. It's a huge deal because obviously, your parents have sent you to university or to school to do what? To read so that you can better the future. And, so you can be able to be, all the good stuff. And let me tell you guys, the worst thing is I've always been book smart as well. So my whole family, from not just like from my sisters and my dad, like even my extended family, like my grandma, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins, they all used to know, hey, Michelle is chopi. Chopi, let me translate for anybody who doesn't speak Swahili or slang. Chopi means you're book smart, yes, book smart. So they used to say, hey, Michelle is a chopi, manze, she's gonna go. And the plan was to be a doctor because my dad is also in the medical field. So now you can imagine, fast forward, I'm over here, I'm pregnant with twins. I have no sort of plan for my life. I have no source of income because I had been working. Let me tell you guys a funny story. I was working from my first year. So I used to balance out. In the morning, I would go for my classes, and then in the afternoon, I would go and do makeup. I used to sell makeup, and I also used to do makeup application on people at a certain nice kit shop in town. So I did not know this, but like a few weeks to me discovering I was pregnant, because I didn't know I was pregnant. A few weeks to me discovering, what did I do? What did Michelle do? Huh? Hormones. I quit my job. I went to my boss and I told her, you know what? I'm just not happy anymore. I was so dramatic, like what? Now when I look back at it is when I discovered, oh, those were some hormones, okay, girl? Because I didn't know why I wanted to quit. I was just so emotional and I was like, I want to quit. And it is not serving me anymore and I'm not happy. Baby girl. Baby girling started a long time ago. So I didn't want to tell my dad. My whole idea was, you know what? I will just melt away. I will just disappear. I will not tell anybody anything. I'll just disappear, because the fact was that my dad would be so disappointed in me. My dad had struggled so much to take us to private schools when we were in primary school, and then I was like, he had educated us by himself single-handedly. And here I am telling him that, Dad, I'm pregnant. So it was such a tough pill for me to swallow, but eventually Ian just told me, you know what? This was his pep talk. He told me, you know what? Now you're about to become somebody's parent. So now you cannot afford to be afraid of people or anybody. So you have to now teach them. So because now you are a parent and somebody is looking up to you, so now you have to also just swallow any fear and just do it. That was his pep talk. So I remember I didn't want to call my dad because, oh my gosh, that was such a tough conversation. So I remember I texted my dad and I told him, this was my exact words, I told him, hi Dad, I hope you're doing okay. I'm sorry to tell you, but I said, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Like, those words are engraved in me so much that I can remember them 10, I don't know how many years later, 7 years later. And I told him, I'm sorry I've disappointed you, but I'm pregnant with twins, Michelle. As soon as I sent that message like this, guys, my dad called me. I don't know. It's like he was waiting for me to, because my plan was I send the text and then I switch off my phone so that he can just digest, so that he doesn't come to my university to whoop my black ass. Okay, that was my plan. But immediately he called. I had to gather courage. I picked the call. So the only thing he asked me, guys, which is mind-boggling. I feel like I should have this conversation with him and ask him, Kwani, translation, you weren't going to like get mad and give me a lecture or something. He asked me, so what are you planning to do about school? Luckily, I had started working. I had been working, as I told you guys. So I told him, my plan is I take a year off, give birth, and then get back to school. It's so funny because I just did a TikTok where the audio was, so tell us about you. I don't know if I can put it on my Instagram. YouTube will copyright me. Anyway, so the audio is about it. Oh, did you, what, can you tell us about about you dropping out from school? And the girl was like, I didn't drop out, I froze my studies. So I froze my studies. So fast forward, I had a very tough pregnancy. Not that the complications or anything, just mental. This is what a lot of people don't tell you, and this is to my young girls out there. When you mess around with a guy, okay, fine, you get pregnant and it's the child is you, both of you are responsible for the child. But the sad reality is, let me tell you, you are the one who's going to be pregnant. You're the one who's going to be walking around with that belly. You're the one who's going to receive the backlash and the stigma and the ridicule from society. Because I can tell you for a fact that once I got pregnant, because KU is so huge, Kenyatta University. So once I got pregnant, I wasn't able to really walk around as much because it was so hot, and then I was growing, I had hormones, I was feeling morning sickness. But do you know what I was covering with all those excuses? I was ashamed. I was ashamed. And I remember one day, one of my friends, Snyder, came to visit me, and she told me that a couple of my classmates had found out and they were gossiping about how I was over there with my blue hair. Because, girl, this colored hair has not started today. Okay, it started years back. Like, Michelle is just over there. What is jifanyeng in English? Jifanyeng. Filling herself with her blue hair and her green hair, and she's just over there messing around, and now she's pregnant. Guy. And I remember when she told me that people had already started like ridiculing me, I felt so bad. I felt so low. I felt like, wow, Michelle, you really done it, okay? Like, over here I'm smiling, but at that time it was tough. It was really tough because you almost find yourself having to battle or having to catch yourself and not go into a depressive state, because in my mind, everybody else's futures zinaendelea, they're going on. Everybody is just in class, they're just advancing their futures. Me, I'm just over here pregnant, no job, no plan. And I felt so alone, even though like I did have support. Like my sister Val knew. I told my sister D a bit later, or rather she was told by my father. She was really mad at me for that. Even though I had like support per se, I felt really alone, and I really felt the weight of my decisions. Because Kwani, how many girls out there, they've finished university and they have not gotten pregnant? Who am I? And I'm not trying to judge, okay? I'm trying to give you the other perspective of what was going on in my mind. So I gave birth. Thank God everything went the way it went. My sister was able to help us out until we were able to get on our feet, which is a whole other story for another day. It is a real testimony. When you guys hear me talking about God and talking about how He is faithful, believe me, it didn't just start at yesterday with the car. It didn't just start. No, it has been a journey of Him, time after time after time after time, coming through for me, even when I didn't deserve it, even when I made foolish decisions, even when He told me to go like this, and who am I? In frontness, Kimbelembele. I go the other way. But let me tell you guys, the struggle that we had to go through, and I'm not talking about financial, because a lot of people usually think that having a child is a financial thing. Let me tell you, finances are far from it. The mental capacity that you need to raise a child it's overwhelming. imagine you're over there, you're a teenager, you're still a child, and then now you're giving birth to a child. So it's a child birthing a child, and now you have to grow up so quick. You have to grow up so quick, like, because I think a lot of you guys usually see me online and usually say, oh, you're so responsible. Oh, hey, I was forced into it. I was forced into being responsible. If you ask my sister D, Kitamo, when I used to come and visit her in her house, I used to be so lazy. I would be like, Ati, wash dishes? Ugh, please. Ati, clean the house? Ugh, me, I'm a baby girl. And I remember one day she asked me, Nani, translation, who will marry you with all your laziness? Like, I was very active when it came to going out and hustling, but like the inside the house, like like washing dishes, cleaning clothes, I mean, I was just, no, that's not my life, okay? I'm a baby girl. Don't shout at me. So I mentally had to grow up, and I went through phases where I would feel so much disappointment in myself. I would look at other people, and even some of my friends. I remember one of my friends in Jambi, she was reminding me of this the last time she came to visit me, and she told me, hey, you're in such a better place right now, because that time when I came to see you, you were just frustrated with life, because it can do that to you. You don't know what to do. In fact, you don't know where diapers are coming from. You don't know what you're gonna eat, because let's suppose you're not in the parent setting, because some of us aren't fortunate enough to have our parents there as we go through this. And even worse, some parents will even tell you, get rid of the kid, or even kick you out. And I'm so sorry about that. But the harsh reality that I have to tell you guys is, for every decision that we make, there is a consequence. It's an action and reaction. So that's why I really wanted to. I feel like I have been receiving so many of those DMs that I'm pregnant. And I just feel like telling young girls, like, yo, what? We've been there. Don't, please. Like, I know that girl looks hot. I know the hormones, they're just washing. But believe me when I say, you will have done yourself such a service, or rather a great disservice, to know something is, to know how this side goes, and it's the wrong side, and you choose to go through it. When I tell you, I got pregnant and it was hard, to the point that it has taken us literally years to be able to get to the place where we are able to say, okay, spiritually we are somewhere, mentally we are somewhere, financially we are somewhere, emotionally we are somewhere. Because let me tell you, children will test your patience. You think at your life test children will test your patience, okay? And you need to have a mental capacity. When I tell you guys I had to grow up really quickly, it's even in terms of my spiritual life. In terms of, I used to hold a lot of resentment towards my own mother, because I felt like she wasn't there. She abandoned me, she let me go through life without her, and had she been there, things would have been so much better. And there has been so many times. I remember when I got my phone in primary school, my first phone, I remember there are so many times that I texted her, I hate you, but I never got to send, because I used to blame her for so many things that I went through. I felt like if only you were here, we wouldn't need to go through all these things. So those are some of the things that I had to overcome. Because let me tell you something, you don't want to start raising up a child when in here, in your soul, you still have wounds, you still have traumas. You don't want, there's one thing that I saw a lady on Instagram say, and it was so profound. She said, my goal is to raise a generation of children who don't have to recover from my parenting. And that hit me so deep. I was like, what? That's what we call intentional parenting. Like, not just parenting for the sake of parenting, but actually like taking a step back and looking at it like in retrospect and saying, okay, when I grew up, this and this and this and this is something that I didn't like. You say that I didn't like this and this aspect of how my parents raised me. Like, for example, excuse me, for example, personally, I used to really hate how we used to be beaten. Like, we used to be beaten, you know. And I remember I had promised myself that once I got kids, that I would intentionally look for other ways, or even if it's that beating, then you don't overly do it. Okay, it's maybe just a pinch here, or like nothing like the way we did. So I had to intentionally take a step back and say, okay, this is how I was raised. I didn't like this. I hated this. It really affected me in this and this way. And then now looking back at the mirror of that and saying, okay, so now for me, for my children, I want to do it differently. I want to be able to talk to them. I want my children to be able to be open with me and to be able to tell me things that they're going through. I want them to be able to tell me, hey, mom, what do you think about this and this? Like, actually sit down and we have a conversation. And guys, I'm still not yet there. But let me tell you, I am a long way into it, and I am so close to where I want to be. Because you have to choose intentionality. Guys, there's a lot of things that comes with bringing up a child. Spiritually, you have to be sound, you have to be woke, you have to believe in God. You don't have to be, but you should believe in God, because trust me, in those times, in those areas where you feel alone, where you feel like the whole world is against you, where you feel like you feel like an ant, like everything is just happening to you and not for you. In those moments, you really need God, and you really need to be able to teach your children as well that when you go through this and this and this and this is what you do, because you've gone through it, because you've been there. So, to all my young ladies, you don't need to get pregnant to be able to learn the lesson that we learned. You can choose to learn from us and go the other way, because you can never take a break from a child. There's not a vacation, hey, now let me go for like a 1 month vacation. Like, parenting is constant. Parenting is forever. forever. So be intentional with your decisions right now. I know that guy might look cute, but let me tell you, just picture yourself alone and pregnant. Not that he'll leave you, but the reality of it is when you get pregnant, you get pregnant by yourself. Okay, the guy, most of the times, their lives continue. Yes, some of them are so gracious and they're so awesome and they stick by us, but ultimately you're the one who carries the majority of the responsibility. Okay? And to my young girls who have gotten pregnant, I wish I made this video earlier, number one, but it's okay. You know, often we usually see that it was a mistake, the child was a mistake, but actually the child wasn't a mistake to God. Like, maybe for you it was a mistake in how the child was conceived, but believe me when I say that child has a destiny, that child has a future. And I may not be able to tell you from the get-go, tomorrow you'll eat this, tomorrow mentally you'll be like this, or spiritually. No, it's a journey that only you can go through, only you can experience. So just breathe every day, pray, ask for strength, push on every day, because the one thing that I can tell you is that it gets better, it gets easier. So be intentional in who you are. Be the kind of person who would be happy to be parented by you. And what does that mean? That means healing your wounds inside here from the traumas that you've gone through. It means here mentally maturing. It means spiritually having a connection, a relationship with God, so you can also teach that to your children. It means emotionally being in touch with who you are or who you are supposed to be, like the ultimate best version of you, and just looking for support to whoever is willing to give you support. But make sure it's not people who want to take advantage of your situation, but it's going to be okay. I promise you it's going to be okay. Just push through. And for those girls, if IDMs have told me, you still haven't told your parents, imagine you'll need to tell them. You need to have a sense of depending, or you need to be able to talk to someone and to share with someone and to tell them this is how I feel. And I'm not saying that they're going to be happy for the first few months or even years. They might be so mad at you, so disappointed, but appreciate and embrace the people who are willing to be there for you. And yeah, guys, I hope this was a little encouragement to you guys to make better decisions if you're not yet there. And if you are there, that is not the end of life. Everything is going to be okay. God makes everything good in its own time. So yes, you're going to struggle for now because that is a consequence of your action. But believe me, there is a blessing that comes with you being present, with you being consistent, with you choosing to be there for that child. I love you guys.